I gotta get a better gun, I guess, before I do anything final. Thing is not that good. And I came in here with what was left over, and I just shot that wheel well, and I did around this window because the seal's got to go back in, and I got a little bit underneath there. So I put some filler on our dog leg here, and I think we're pretty good. A little bump in it right here, but that other piece covers it, so you don't ever see that. We've got this back in temporarily, because I think I gotta try to lift this up a little right here. Very professional. You like it? Mixing them up. Mixing them up. If you spill the right amount of reducer to paint and activator, you're in good shape. If not, spill more reducer. Still feel like that's thick. I went a little heavy on the reducer this time around because the last one spit and sputtered and spattered. So I took my tent down and here we are. It came out rough, rough, rough. The gun I used was just utter trash, and I had to come back through here and just wet sand and buff the crap out of this thing. And I don't know how well you could pick it up in camera, but there's a lot of blemishes. I mean, a lot of it did buff out, but the gun just, I couldn't get it under control no matter what I did. And anytime I got it close, I'd get into it a little bit and it would shift on me. So, but I mean, you know, for what I was really trying to accomplish here is just a little bit of uniformity, cover up all the stuff that's going to be like, you know, inside of here, so that's sealed up and painted, so it's not going to rust. We're good. I'm not going to clear coat this, so I'll be able to come back through at any point and touch up. And I actually do have to do some touch up where I burnt through with the sandpaper. That, and I'm going to be, you know, seam sealing, things like that. Probably when I'm doing the top or something, I'll just come down through. And the color's not the same. I actually like the color more. I think it's got more green in it. It's just a little bit more, it's an older looking color. So I think the good thing is I'm definitely digging the color. I cut it. I didn't use polishing compound. I just cut it once. I could probably get it more, but I'm not going to really worry about it. I said all along I'm not going to try too hard on this thing. And I think trying too hard means, you know, doing a lot of repeat work. I'm sealed. You know, all of my new stuff is sealed up and protected, and that's the big thing. The other stuff over here, you know, rocker panel, same thing. Center post, same thing. This here, this is what I set my gun up with. So every time I had to try to dial in the gun, I used the top of the running board because it gets covered up anyways. So, you know, that texture is what my gun was spitting out. And I would just dial it in and I would lose it. And I don't think it's because my compressor's too small. I was running 2 regulators on it, 2 water separators. I whittled out a piece of thing to go in there. I'm going to take this off now. I'm going to put the rocker panel in. Put this back on, lift it up a little bit, get the bracket mounted in, put the center pillar in, put the front door on, see how it lines up. I still got my templates I made. The goal was to lift it up, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch at least. And then I want to move on to the top next because I feel like I got to tear into that and all of the associated rotten garbage, and just figuring out what the hell I've got to do. I am going to have to go up here and paint, sand and paint. I pulled this back. It looks like garbage. This is from when they painted it, this Bluick blue. They've got some really heavy scratches in here, like they were using, you know, they were sanding this thing with a piece of rebar, it looks like. I'm not going to try to blend any of that. I'm just going to pull it straight down, get down to the metal where there's rust, seal everything with the epoxy primer, and I'm just going to shoot this whole section, the roof, and then bring it down. And I think what I'll do is I'll probably just stop at the cowl here. That's the one thing I will say is, like, this paint is stuck to the car. Like it's like all the layers were done right. I cleaned it well in between all the steps. The gun was cleaned. I was meticulous with all that stuff. I didn't get good atomization is what happened. I was getting orange peel really bad. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get ahead of it. But I decided to push through it because the paint's mixed and it's go time, and done is better than perfect. All right, we're gonna start getting this guy on here. Nothing's quick. Okay, rocker panels installed. And I've got the A-pillar screwed into place mostly. There's a few I have to re-drill from where I filled the wood. And then lift up this corner a little bit so I can put that bracket back inside there. I just got to make sure that my doors are still going to line up after all that's happened. It's always the little details, huh? We are going to test our work. Well, that doesn't feel bad. Bigger gaps acceptable. We managed to not destroy this portion of the car. Have to do the bumpers on this back one. I'm still not real happy with this gap here, but I'm not touching down there, and with the door bumpers in, I'm a mile away from it. You probably can't see it on camera, but yeah, it's nice to not have that just missing before, because well, that's where we were at. It was just missing. And no, it feels good. It feels like progress. The next video is going to be the roof. There's a sneak preview. It's fully shitified, so don't forget to tune in for all kinds of more Buick trials and tribulations. And anybody got any idea on a hub puller? I mean, for Christ's sake, I can't find one that fits. So to rectify the problem, make sure that shit doesn't happen again. Saber toe. Excalibur. HO. High output. I was only after this one, but the guy said for another 50 bucks you can have this one. So I said I'll take it. But this one here, I don't really think I've got too much of a need for. So I think this is a gun that you would use to put your color coat down, and it builds the right texture to accept a clear coat, and then you can dial it in for your clear coat, and it handles both. I don't know if that does me any good. I think these are both 1.4s, so I might sell that one, keep that one. They say use a, well, I see use 1.5 to 1.3 on the epoxy primer. On the paint, they're saying use a 1.3 to 1.7, so we're actually on the smaller side for the nozzle for the paint, which I thought it was the other way around, but either way, like that gun, I'm hoping that gun will just do everything for me and I'll be all right, but we'll see. But minimally, I'm not going to get the shit out of there that I got out of the other gun. After the Bluick has got more of a pulse, we got to look at this one. And we can compare and contrast what the difference is. This one really hasn't had a bad life. So, you know, I'm kind of practicing on the Bluick so that I don't ruin this car. There is yet another 33 Buick on the premises that I may or may not have a go at. It does have another shot at life. It might actually be a really good candidate for a restoration. It may have a rebuilt driveline. It may have all kinds of good things to it, but it's also basket case-ish looking. It was some kind of a restoration that never was completed. And I believe the man died in the process, and Byron acquired it and put it with this car. I haven't really even assessed that car. I would like to at least put it back together on some level, but I think part of the problem is this stuff costs way too much money to do, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see. We'll see. Thanks for tuning in to the Bluick adventure. See you next time on the Bluick channel.